Good morning, hi, hello, and how are ya? What's going on, everybody? Hopefully you're having an amazing day. I am ready to go over a few things with you right now to make you a stronger player in Smite. Is that something that you want? If so, stick around. You stuck around through the intro, you're hanging out, you want to learn how to be a better Smite player. Let's start with Ah Puch, let's start with how to level him, and then let's show you how to maximize your damage output. If you have not already done so, smack that subscribe button, that way you get notified when the rest of this video series goes live. And in the comments down below, why don't you tell me who your favorite god is? Let's jump over into Ah Puch and get started. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. As you can see, the beautiful, the ugly, the evil, the standard Ah Puch. So we are going to jump over a lot of different things with him today. We're going to cover primarily his levels. We're not really going to do any theory crafting on it because his abilities also increase damage based on his magical power. So we're actually going to cover that in the next video. This video is going to be really short, really brief, just about leveling and how to maximize the damage output versus survivability. Alright, y'all, here we go. Let's cover the abilities and we'll get started on how to level them. As you well know, each god has 5 abilities, 4 of which are usable, 1 is a passive. With Ah Puch, his passive is Hollow Ground. Hollow Ground is going to restore 7% of his maximum health and 3% of his maximum mana for every corpse he munches. His other abilities, which we'll cover, will allow him to throw out zombies, corpses, you can then munch. The other benefit of his passive is every single corpse he munches reduces the cooldown of Undead Surge and Corpse Explosion by 2 seconds. Let's cover what those abilities are. Undead Surge is his line attack. This is his number 1 ability. It's going to do a relative damage 90 to 170. It's also going to apply a 20 to 40% slow. This is a line attack. It's going to throw 2 corpses. Let me show you what it looks like right here. There's our 2 zombies. Pops them out. Looks beautiful. Now, the 90 to 170 does not include any items, whether it be a defensive item or an offensive item, yours or your enemies. That slow is a massive thing. It's huge. The other thing that the Undead Surge does is enemies that are hit have their healing reduced by 40% for 5 seconds. So when using Ah Puch, you really don't need to build an item such as like Divine Ruin or anything like that because you're already going to be reducing their healing. It's gross how this works. Now, after you throw that ability out, you have one of 2 options. You can use his passive and go munch those corpses, get back 6% of your mana and 14% of your health. This is based on the maximum number. Or we can utilize ability 2, Corpse Explosion. Corpse Explosion allows you to detonate on the ground. It's a little AoE. The AoE is roughly a 20 unit radius. Any corpse caught within that radius, though, also will detonate. Now, their detonation radius is 25 units. So, base damage of the detonate is 60 to 100 relative to your level. It's not including any zombies or corpses, whatever you want to call them. Now, if you were to tie in corpses in there, you're going to add 55 to 155 damage per corpse. Like we said, you can have a maximum of 6 corpses on the ground. Unlikely you're going to get all 6 unless somebody's just really not paying attention when they're running around the field. Team battles, definitely possible. One-on-one, highly unlikely. So, what that's going to lead me to is the 3rd ability. The 3rd ability for Ah Puch is his Fleeting Breath. Fleeting Breath is a ground ability. It's a thrown ability. It's gonna throw out one little circle. That little circle is gonna do what's called a dot damage over time. It's gonna last for 4 seconds. 30 to 50 damage based on your level per tick, and 50 to 250 damage once that 4 seconds is over. Now, per tick, if you're unsure what that means, basically it means 30 to 50 damage every second, or in this case, for 4 seconds. The ability also applies a debuff called Miasma. Now, the Miasma debuff is going to really mess up your opponent if they're healed while they are suffering from Miasma. Now, after the duration is over, you get the 4 seconds. The targets take that additional damage at the end. And if they were healed during any of the initial duration, meaning when the miasma is on there, they get stunned for a second and a half. So not only can you slow them, but you can stun them. Now, this ability works really good if you're up against like a Changa, a Hell, even an Anubis when they're lifesteal, because any heal counts. Or if you've got a team that's really heavy on their med cloak, oh yeah, you can stun an entire team if you play your cards right. Now, the way the ability works for Fleeting Breath, I'll show you. Here we go. One little toss. Just like that. And you'll see it takes down 1, 2, 3, 4. 100 damage on a level 20 Ymir. Now, the corpse explosion, I didn't show it earlier, but here's what it looks like. You'll see the 2 circles that are on the ground, on the outer parts of it, and then the inner circle. The outer 2 circles that you see here, that's going to be the ones that are caused by the corpse, giving you the 25 radius for each corpse. And then the inner circle that you see is the one that's for the actual ability itself. And then last but not least, this is the ability that everybody loves to hate. This is Into the Crypts. This is the ultimate ability. Now, this one is a little interesting because there's not a set amount of damage. It's the amount of damage you do is going to be based on how long your opponents stay in here. So the longer you can keep them in there, the more damage you can do. Relatively though, 40 to 80 damage per Wraith. You're also going to apply a healing reduction stack of 20% per stack, up to 3 stacks. Now, for those that have never actually seen how long it lasts and you've gone up against it, I know it seems like it lasts forever. It's a 5-second ultimate, so it's a pretty heavy, intensive one. Now, I'll show you what it looks like here. Here we go. And if you watch, you'll see Ymir get damaged. So we've got, what is this? Serve your master once more! He gets hit about 17 times, and each time he's hit, it's 54 damage. So it's really relative, the amount of damage that you can do compared to how it's going to be done. Now let's jump into the ability builder. Now, like we said, we want to cover the benefit of being, do we want to be more survivable? We want to have more survivability, that's the word I was looking for. Or do we want to kill them harder than they kill us? Let's explain the difference of the two. So, one way to level is going to rely on his passive. One way to level is going to rely on his damage. If you want to rely on his passive to maintain survivability early game, and we're talking the first 2 levels, Undead Surge will give you 2 corpse. Fleeting Breath will give you 1 corpse. That's a total of 3 corpse that you can use to utilize his passive, which is going to give you 21% of your maximum health back, as well as 9% of your maximum mana. Damage-wise, you're going to do 170 damage off of Fleeting Breath, and you're going to do 90 damage off of Undead Surge, as well as applying the slow, the reduced healing, and potentially a stun. So the damage alone, you're sitting at 260 damage. with the stun. You know, maybe you get lucky, you stun them in the minions. Definitely possible to be done. You won't be able to get a repeat of your combo, though, because of the cooldown that it has. Now, that's relying on the passive, being able to get back 9% of your maximum mana and 21% of your maximum health. That's the survivability way to start, the first 2 levels. If we want to go the way of pain, you're going to start with Fleeting Breath. Again, Fleeting Breath, like we said, is going to give you 170 damage right out the gate. And then from there, you're going to add in Corpse Explosion. Now, Corpse Explosion, even though it only does 60 out the gate, you're also going to apply the 55 damage from the corpse. So you're going to be doing 110. It's only 20 more damage, but that's base, not counting magical power. Okay, that makes it fluctuate a lot. Now, your third ability would be the other that you did not level in 1 and 2. So the way I would build, it would be Corpse Explosion second, Undead Surge third. Now, at this point, you are not really going to be doing a lot of damage with your Undead Surge. You've gotten your abilities out, and if you look, it goes up about 20 damage each time you go. Now, the slow is nice. Increasing the slow is highly beneficial. But, again, my goal is to focus on killing them faster than they can kill me. So, I focus on leveling my Corpse Explosion. Now, the reason why is we are going to be multiplying this damage per corpse by 3 at each level. So, at level 2, it's going to do 240 damage plus 70 damage from the explosion itself, so 310. Whereas Fleeting Breath is going to do 240 damage or 310 damage. So I focus on leveling Corpse Explosion until Empty the Crypt pops up. Then you'll put Empty the Crypts in. Corpse Explosion will be the primary focus until once you've hit level 7. At level 8, you can't put anything else into Corpse Explosion, so you throw it into Fleeting Breath, Empty the Crypts again. Finish up the explosion. Focus on Fleeting Breath, again hitting Empty the Crypts every time it becomes available. And then last but not least, finish up with Undead Surge. That right there is the way to maximize your damage output. Now, if you want to maximize your survivability, really the only thing you're doing is swapping the first 2 abilities around. That is, in my opinion, the best way to build him. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you build him a little differently, if you focus more on a different ability, or if you kind of just do 1 and 1 across the board. But for this video, that's going to be it. Stick around for the next video, which we are going to cover items. And then we are going to also cover theory crafting based on this build right there. So, stick around. Hey everybody, thanks for watching the video today. Hopefully that you are able to find something out of this video that's going to help you in ways that will allow you to make your Ah Puch character stronger as you build them. If you're new to Smite and this is your first time looking into Ah Puch, welcome. Hopefully you found something very interesting. Now, if you did find this video helpful in any way whatsoever, please feel free to hit that subscribe button. It would definitely help me out here on the channel. It also lets me know that you guys like the content that I'm putting out. And if you would like to see other gods in the near and dear future, please let me know down in the comments. But until next time, as always, enjoy your gaming. I am Backroads. We'll catch you later.